Andrew Kay was arrested on November 17, 2015 for using his parents' money to buy drugs and alcohol. He committed crimes such as property damage, theft, robbery, and assault. He was 15 years old and his parents never stopped him from doing any of these crimes. After he was arrested, he was sentenced to a Washtenaw County Juvenile Detention Center. He then was drug tested and tested positive.
The home life for most juveniles in detention centers has not been the best, and many youth living in circumstances where a parent is using illegal substances may not experience abuse or neglect, but they have a higher risk of involvement of getting into substance abuse at an early age. Juvenile substance use can tie into social issues and can lead to dangerous outcomes. Many parents that suffer with substance abuse and addiction have higher crime rates. Leading from parents' crime rates can also take effect on the child's future of crime and substance abuse from themselves. Every year, 300,000 youth are arrested for drug or alcohol-related offenses. In 2017, it was reported that 8th through 12th grade students have misused drugs at least once. Alcohol is the most misused in teens over the years, but recently shifted to abuse of prescription pills, like amphetamines and opioid painkillers, among high schoolers. Soon, they get addicted and have life difficulties like permanent brain damage.
Being addicted to drugs can also affect education. Juvenile drug use affects the education of the student and the education of their peers. Drug use in teens comes with many mental health issues like depression, developmental lags, apathy, withdrawal, and other psychosocial dysfunctions that can make it very difficult to do well in school. Juvenile drug use has many consequences, like declining grades, absence from school and other activities, and increased potential for dropping out. Dropouts are more likely to be current marijuana users than those in school, 27.3% versus 15.3%. The percentage is almost doubled in dropouts. Drug use commonly leads to the student dropping out of school. After dropping out of school, the juvenile will most likely continue using the drugs, and it can cause them to end up in the prison system.
The majority of young people in detention have been charged with non-violent offenses, including thousands charged with status offenses, which are offenses such as truancy that are criminalized for youth but not for adults. Status offenses are things like skipping school, drinking while underage, running away, violating curfew, and acting out. Most youths who engage in status and other minor offenses never do more serious behaviors, but youths are still being put in juvenile detention centers. Almost half of youths held in detention centers for status offenses are there for 90 days, and almost a quarter of them are put into restrictive correctional style facilities. Some juvenile detention centers can affect the youth's overall health, education, safety, access to services, and training. Ultimately, their chances of reoffending in the future and the chances of the youth returning home from juvenile detention centers are low. A study showed that youths waiting for trial in detention centers have 33% and 11% higher likelihood of recidivism. And of the 17,000 minors that are confined in detention centers, 787 are in there for drug offenses and 210 for status offenses. Luckily, some states are removing the status offenses from juvenile courts. One solution for this is rehab for the JDTC's program.
Juvenile drug treatment courts, often known as JDTCs, are created for young people with substance use issues. The program offers juveniles who are abusing substances the rigorous judicial intervention and intensive community supervision that are typically not available through the standard juvenile court process. The creation of a treatment and rehabilitation program that tackles family issues as well as kid issues. Immediate court action and ongoing judicial oversight of the juveniles and his or her family's development. Being rehabilitated lays the groundwork for leading a healthy lifestyle in the community after leaving the juvenile justice system, which is why rehabilitation is crucial for juvenile offenders and their reentry into mainstream society. The rehabilitation model is ideal over the retributive model because the retributive model, which primarily focuses on punishment as deterrence, is not as effective. A therapeutic jurisprudence paradigm has long considered juvenile drug courts, JDCs, which are fashioned after drug courts for adults, as both rehabilitative and restorative.
When Andrew Kay was arrested and tested positive for drugs, he was transferred to the True North Juvenile Drug Treatment Program on the other side of the building. Andrew Kay spent a total of 8 months and 28 days in the Growth Works placement for adolescents. While there, he got support with education, therapy, emotional support, and drug treatments. The detention center offered counselors and teachers to help as well. There were groups that met multiple times a day where he would express how he felt and talk about recovery topics with others. He got help with what he was struggling with. He turned his life around with this help and wants other people to have the same opportunities. Other kids should have an opportunity to get help and not lose their life over a mistake.